Every morning, millions of Americans use Norwegian Inventions without knowing it, and most history books don't mention Norway once. But invention number one? It's worth $8 billion annually in the U.S. alone, and we act like we invented it. I'm about to change how you see Made in America. Let's go. But real quick, if you're the kind of person who loves learning what history textbooks won't tell you, hit that subscribe button right now. Because I got 47 more videos exposing the inventions, the discoveries, and the innovations that got credited to the wrong country. Type subscribed in the comments, and I'll personally reply to welcome you to the community. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Alright, let's expose these 10 Norwegian inventions. Number 10. The cheese slicer. If you've ever sliced cheese without it crumbling everywhere, thank Thor Bjorklund, a Norwegian carpenter who got tired of watching his wife struggle. Picture this, 1925, Lillehammer, Norway. Thor is a carpenter. Every morning, he watches his wife try to slice cheese. It crumbles. It's uneven. She's frustrated. One morning, Thor's had enough. He grabs a carpenter's plane from his workshop. You know that tool for shaving with smooth? He modifies it. Simple blade. Angled slot. Perfect tension. 1927, he patents the Osthovel, the cheese slicer. Norwegian Patent Office, number 103,520. It sweeps through Norway. By 1930, it's in nearly every Norwegian home. Fast forward to the 1950s. American kitchenware companies see it, copy the design, mass produce it. Today, over 50 million cheese slicers are sold worldwide annually. Most Americans don't even know it has a name or a Norwegian inventor. Thor? He made a modest living in Norway. American companies? They made millions without crediting him once. But this next one? You've used it hundreds of times, and it revolutionized everything from deodorant to firefighting. Number 9. The AEROSOL spray can. Every spray can you've ever used, hairspray, spray paint, whipped cream, started with Norwegian engineer Erik Rotheim in 1926. November 23, 1926. Norwegian patent number 46,613. Erik invents the first functional pressurized aerosol valve system. Think about it. Bug spray, cooking spray, deodorant, even spray cheese. That pressurized convenience? Erik figured it out. He designed a system to store liquid under pressure in a sealed container with a valve that controlled release. Revolutionary. Here's the heartbreaking part. Erik died in 1938, before aerosol cans exploded globally. After World War II, American companies found his patent, refined the valve design, and patented their own versions. Today, the global aerosol industry is worth over $90 billion. Erik's descendants? They never saw a cent from that. But this next invention? Olympic athletes use it. Ski resorts charge $200 lessons for it. And it's been Norwegian for 150 years. Number 8. Modern skiing techniques. Every skier at Aspen. Every Olympic gold medalist. They're using techniques invented by Sondre Norheim in Telemark, Norway, in the 1860s. Sondre was a farmer's son. Skiing already existed in Norway. People used it to travel in winter. But the equipment? Terrible. Bindings were loose. You couldn't control your speed. Turning was dangerous. In the 1850s and 60s, Sondre invented the stiff heel binding, giving skiers real control for the first time. Then he invented the Telemark turn, a graceful, sweeping carving motion that let you control speed and direction. 1868, he demonstrates it at a competition in Christiania. What's now Oslo? People are stunned. Norway dominates international skiing for the next several decades. The Norwegian Ski Museum has archives documenting Sondre's techniques. They became the foundation for modern alpine and cross-country skiing. Fast forward to the 1930s and 40s. American ski resorts adopt these Norwegian techniques, rebrand them as alpine skiing, hire American instructors. Sondre's name? Buried in the footnotes of skiing history. But invention number 7? It became a symbol of resistance during World War II, and Americans use 11 billion of them every year. Number 7. The paper clip. In your desk right now, there's probably a dozen of these. Boring, right? To Norway, it's a national hero. 1899, Johan Vaaler, a Norwegian inventor, is frustrated. People are using pins and string to hold papers together. It's clunky. It damages documents. He designs a simple double-loop wire clip that holds papers together without piercing them. He files patents in Germany and the United States in 1899 and 1901. Why not Norway? Norway didn't have a patent office yet. Now here's the complexity. British company Gem Manufacturing had already created a similar design in the 1890s. But Johan's design became culturally iconic, especially in Norway. Here's why. During World War II, Norwegians wore paper clips on their coat lapels as a silent act of resistance against Nazi occupation. It became a symbol. Unity. Solidarity. Norwegian identity. Meanwhile, American office supply companies were mass-producing paper clips and dominating the global market. Today, Americans use an estimated 11 billion paper clips annually. Johan's name? Rarely mentioned outside Norway. But this next one? It saved countless lives at sea, and the U.S. Navy took the design without saying thank you. Number 6. Advanced Shipbuilding and Watertight Compartments. April 15, 1912. Titanic sinks. 1,500 people die. The world asks, why didn't watertight compartments save them? Here's what most people don't know. Norwegian shipbuilders in the late 1800s pioneered advanced watertight bulkhead designs. Norway's fishing and cargo vessels faced the brutal North Atlantic. Icy water, massive storms, relentless conditions. Norwegian maritime registers from the 1880s and 1890s show sophisticated watertight compartment systems in commercial ships, decades before Titanic. British and American shipyards saw these designs, adopted them, but improved them slowly. After Titanic, international maritime law finally mandated proper watertight engineering. Modern ships use evolved versions of these Norwegian designs, now credited to international maritime standards. But invention number 5? You've probably touched one today, and it changed modern construction forever. Number 5. The adjustable wrench, Norwegian refinement. Every mechanic, every DIY enthusiast. There's one tool that fits every bolt. It wasn't fully American. Johan Petter Johansson, a Swedish inventor, created the modern adjustable wrench in 1891. That part's true. But here's what history glosses over. Norwegian tool manufacturers in Oslo and Bergen refined the design specifically for maritime, fishing, and early oil industries. If you've ever tightened a bolt, fixed a bike, or done any home repair, you've used a version of this tool. Bako, the Swedish company that made it, worked closely with Norwegian engineers to create maritime-grade versions. American tool brands licensed the design, mass-produced it, and marketed it as American craftsmanship. Today, over 200 million adjustable wrenches are in use across the United States. The Swedish-Norwegian collaboration? Footnote at best. But this next one? It's kept millions of sailors alive, and Americans rebranded it as U.S. Coast Guard innovation. Number 4. Modern life rafts and survival equipment. Imagine you're in a lifeboat. Open top. Freezing water splashing in. No insulation. You have maybe 3 hours before hypothermia kills you. In the 1920s and 30s, the Norwegian maritime industry developed insulated, covered life rafts for Arctic fishing fleets. Self-inflating designs. Waterproof canopies. Thermal insulation. These weren't luxuries. They were survival necessities in Norwegian waters. World War II breaks out. Allied navies operating in the North Atlantic see Norwegian fishing vessels with this advanced survival gear during convoy operations. Post-war, the U.S. Coast Guard and Navy adopt these Norwegian designs and standardize them as American maritime safety innovation. Modern life rafts, based on Norwegian Arctic survival designs, have saved an estimated 500,000 plus lives since World War II. Norwegian origins? Rarely acknowledged. But the next 3? They're so deeply embedded in American life, you'll think I'm making this up. Number 3. Salmon farming, aquaculture revolution. Every piece of farm-raised salmon you've eaten at restaurants, grocery stores, sushi bars, that's Norwegian technology from the 1960s. Brothers Ove and Sivert Grantvedt were Norwegian fish farmers, frustrated by overfishing and unpredictable wild catches. In the 1960s, they pioneered controlled saltwater fish farming in Norway's fjords. 1969, Norway establishes the world's first commercial salmon farm. By 1980, Norway's exporting millions of tons of farmed salmon globally. The Norwegian Institute of Marine Research has extensive archives documenting this. Norway still produces over 50% of the world's farmed salmon. These techniques have been licensed worldwide. The U.S. aquaculture industry adopted Norwegian methods and branded it as sustainable American seafood innovation. Here's the stat. 70% of all salmon consumed globally is farmed, and almost all of it uses Norwegian farming techniques. But invention number 2, it powers the modern world, and Norway invented it decades before America claimed it. Number 2, offshore oil drilling technology. Every time you pump gas, you're using technology Norway perfected in the 1960s and 70s. And America acts like we invented offshore drilling. 1969, Norway discovers oil in the North Sea. But there's a problem. Drilling in 100-plus meter depths, Arctic storms, icy conditions. Nothing like this had been done at scale. Norwegian engineers invent floating oil rigs, subsea pipeline systems, and remote drilling technology. 1971, Norway's Ekofisk field goes operational. The first deep-water offshore platform using Norwegian engineering. Statoil, now called Equinor, filed dozens of patents in the 1970s and 80s. Norwegian designs became the global standard for offshore drilling. U.S. oil companies licensed this technology, dominated Gulf of Mexico drilling, and marketed it as American energy independence. Here's the reality. 30% of global oil production comes from offshore drilling, and most of it uses Norwegian-designed platforms and subsea systems. But invention number 1? It's worth $8 billion annually in the U.S., and we've been lying about who invented it for 80 years. Number 1. Chemical wood pulp processing, modern papermaking. Every book, every cardboard box, every paper product in America. It exists because of Norwegian chemists in the 1870s. 1874, Norwegian chemist Carl Daniel Ekman develops the sulfite process, using chemicals to break down wood into pulp efficiently. Before this, papermaking was expensive, slow, and limited. Ekman's process revolutionized everything. Norwegian mills exploded in production. By 1890, Norway was exporting wood pulp globally. American paper companies saw it, licensed the technology, and industrialized it on a massive scale. The Norwegian patent archives from the 1870s document this. The sulfite process, and later the sulfate or craft process, were invented and refined in Scandinavia. By 1900, American paper mills dominated global production using Norwegian chemical processes. The credit? American industrial innovation. Today, the U.S. paper industry is worth over $200 billion annually, founded on Norwegian wood pulp chemistry. Every newspaper, every Amazon box, every notebook you've ever written in. Norwegian roots. American branding. So here's my question. If these 10 Norwegian inventions built modern American life, shouldn't we at least acknowledge where they came from? Which invention shocked you the most? Drop it in the comments. And Norwegians watching, are you surprised Americans don't know this? And if you think Norway's the only country we've done this to, wait until you see what we took from Switzerland.